Welcome back to B&B Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the issue that has turned the emotional tide of the bold and the beautiful upside down. For weeks now, Luna has found herself spiraling into a dangerous place of obsession, rejection, and emotional devastation. Her increasingly erratic behavior has sent ripples through the lives of those around her, especially Finn and Steffy, who are caught in the crosshairs of her need for belonging. What began as a desire to connect with her alleged father has evolved into a storm of betrayal, identity crises, and explosive revelations, culminating in a moment that threatens to rewrite everything Luna thought she knew about her past, her family, and herself. Luna's longing to feel the love of a father figure had taken on a more desperate tone in recent days. She had tried everything from phone calls to letters to subtle approaches at public events. But when none of those methods worked, she resorted to more intrusive tactics. Luna began breaking into Finn and Steffy's home under the cover of night, determined to confront Finn directly and force him to acknowledge her. These weren't isolated incidents, they became frequent and disturbing. Each time, she left behind emotional wreckage, broken glass, panic-stricken children, and sleepless nights for Steffy and Finn. Her obsession was no longer just about love. It had morphed into a compulsion to be recognized, to be validated by the man she had been told was her father. But Finn, ever the protector of his home and family, had reached his limit. Though he once felt a pang of sympathy for Luna, that sympathy had long evaporated. Her violent past, the rumors, the secrets, the whispers that she had taken a life, were too much for him to overlook. Confronting Luna during her latest intrusion, Finn firmly and coldly rejected her again. He told her that no matter what DNA said, no matter what Poppy claimed, he would never accept someone with blood on her hands as part of his family. His words were not laced with cruelty but with the finality of a man who had seen too much chaos in his life to invite more in. Hearing that shattered something inside Luna. Her eyes brimmed with tears, but they didn't fall, not yet. Instead, she turned her anger toward the two women she believed had destroyed her chance at happiness. Poppy and Steffy. In her mind, it was Poppy's lies and Steffy's manipulation that had ripped apart her opportunity to have a father. The woman who raised her, who claimed to love her, now seemed like a stranger who had let deceit fester in the shadows for far too long. Luna stormed out of the house, furious and humiliated, vowing that she would find out the truth for herself if no one else would give it to her. That vow led her directly to Poppy's door. What followed was not a mother-daughter conversation, it was a showdown. Poppy had already sensed Luna's emotional unraveling and tried to prepare herself, but nothing could have braced her for the venom that Luna unleashed. The accusations came fast and harsh. You lied to me my whole life. You used me. You don't even know who my father is. The confrontation escalated into shouting, with Luna demanding answers and Poppy struggling to maintain composure. Finally, when the pressure became unbearable, Poppy dropped the truth like a bomb. Finn wasn't Luna's biological father. Nor was it Bill Spencer, as many had long speculated. The real identity of Luna's father remained a mystery even to Poppy. She confessed that during a particularly reckless period in her life, she had been involved with multiple men, none of whom had stayed around long enough to be a father. One of them, perhaps, could be the man Luna was searching for. But she didn't know who. For Luna, the revelation was not just shocking, it was identity-shattering. Everything she had built her emotional life around crumbled in seconds. She had lived under the belief that her pain, her longing, her instability could all be traced back to a single absent man, Finn. And now, even that fantasy had been ripped away. Her mind reeled with betrayal, not only by Finn, but by Poppy, the one person who was supposed to love her unconditionally. Luna accused her mother of being reckless, irresponsible, and unfit to raise a child. Her voice cracked as she demanded to know how any mother could be so careless with the truth. Poppy stood still, her hands shaking, tears slipping silently down her cheeks. There were no defenses left. She had failed her daughter in ways that could never be undone. She whispered an apology, but Luna didn't hear it, or didn't want to. Luna turned her back, her face rigid with anger and heartbreak, and walked out the door. She didn't look back. And Poppy, left alone in the quiet wreckage of their confrontation, collapsed to her knees, sobbing not just for what had been lost, but for the certainty that she might never see her daughter again. The emotional aftershocks were immediate. Luna's departure from Poppy's home triggered concern from those still keeping tabs on her erratic behavior. Finn, though still grappling with his own shock over not being her biological father, couldn't shake a deep sense of guilt. Had his harsh words driven her over the edge? Meanwhile, Steffi found herself torn between relief that Luna might not be connected to Finn after all, and fear that Luna, now unhinged and lost, could still pose a danger to her family. In the days that followed, Luna disappeared. She didn't return home, she didn't reach out to anyone. Even Remy, her one-time confidant, hadn't heard from her. Rumors swirled that she was traveling up the California coast, staying in cheap motels and living under an alias. Others claimed she had boarded a bus headed for Nevada, hoping to disappear into the desert where no one would ever find her. Wherever she was, one thing was certain: Luna was no longer the confused girl searching for a father, she had become a woman with nothing left to lose. This revelation has left every character on edge, questioning not just their relationships, but their own identities. For Finn, it's a haunting reminder that biology doesn't define family, but trauma can. For Poppy, it's the brutal reckoning of a past she thought she had buried. And for Luna, it's the beginning of a new chapter, one steeped in rage, confusion, and perhaps a thirst for vengeance. What will happen if Luna returns? Will she seek forgiveness, or retribution? Next, we're diving into the sizzling summer drama of The Bold and the Beautiful, where shocking twists, heart-wrenching decisions, and unexpected romantic shifts are set to ignite the screen. Fans are bracing for a wild ride as couple-swapping rumors swirl and life-altering choices loom large, particularly for Liam Spencer, Steffy Forrester, and Dr. John Finn Finnegan. From a devastating health crisis to a dangerous threat on the horizon, the stakes couldn't be higher. Join us as we unravel the latest spoilers, weave in fresh details, and explore the emotional depths of these beloved characters' journeys in a story that promises to keep us on the edge of our seats. A summer of secrets and surprises. As the summer sun blazes over Los Angeles, The Bold and the Beautiful is heating up with whispers of unexpected romantic entanglements and dramatic turnarounds. The buzz around town is that couple swapping might be on the horizon, stirring curiosity among fans about who might end up in whose arms. Picture the luxurious Forrester estate, its manicured gardens a backdrop to whispered confessions and stolen glances, as alliances shift in ways no one saw coming. At the heart of this speculation lies a trio entangled in love, loyalty, and sacrifice: Liam Spencer, Steffy Forrester, and Finn. Their complicated history, marked by passion and heartbreak, is about to face new tests that could redefine their futures. This summer promises not just sunny days but stormy nights of emotion, with every episode poised to deliver a punch of intrigue and desire that will leave viewers clamoring for more. Liam's heart, love, and a life-altering decision. Liam Spencer's undying affection for Steffy Forrester remains an open secret, a flame that refuses to be extinguished despite the boundaries of her marriage to Finn. Even Finn, with his steady demeanor as a doctor, can't ignore the lingering glances between his wife and her ex, though he turns a blind eye, perhaps out of compassion for Liam's dire circumstances. Liam is battling a terminal illness, a shadow that hangs over every moment he spends longing for Steffy. Up until now, he staunchly rejected chemotherapy, unwilling to endure the grueling treatment even if it might extend his time with loved ones. Imagine Liam sitting in a quiet hospital waiting room, his face pale and resolute, shaking his head as doctors plead with him to fight. His refusal isn't just about fear, it's about accepting his fate. But a sudden shift in perspective might be brewing as danger looms over Steffy, prompting Liam to reconsider everything he stood for in a bid to be her protector once more. Luna's threat, a catalyst for Liam's sacrifice. The catalyst for Liam's potential change of heart is the menacing presence of Luna Nozawa, whose impending attack on Steffy sends ripples of fear through those who care for her. Liam, ever the guardian of Steffy's safety despite their complicated past, grows increasingly anxious at the thought of leaving her vulnerable. He knows Finn, bound by the complex ties of paternity to Luna, might hesitate in a critical moment, his paternal instincts clashing with the need to act decisively. Picture Liam's restless nights, haunted by visions of Steffy in peril, realizing that if he's not around, no one might shield her with the fierce determination he possesses. Unlike Finn, Liam wouldn't flinch at taking extreme measures, even if it meant confronting Luna head-on to protect Steffy's life. This internal struggle, between accepting his mortality and fighting to remain her safeguard, could push Liam toward a monumental decision to undergo the chemotherapy he dreads, a choice that would symbolize the ultimate sacrifice for love. A miraculous turn or a final stand? While bold and beautiful spoilers remain cryptic about Liam's fate, there's no concrete indication that he will succumb to his illness or exit the show just yet. This ambiguity fuels speculation that a last-minute decision to pursue treatment might offer him a lifeline, or at least a reprieve. Envision the tense hospital scene, Liam gripping the consent form, his hand trembling as he signs it, driven not by a desire to save himself, but by an unyielding need to be there for Steffy. If Liam does opt for chemo, enduring the harrowing side effects and uncertainty just to stand as a bulwark against danger, it would be an act of profound selflessness. This isn't merely about extending his own life, it's about ensuring Steffy has a protector who prioritizes her above all else. Such a gesture could resonate deeply, not just with fans, but with Steffy herself, stirring emotions that might reshape the very foundation of her current relationships. Steffy's heart in turmoil. A new old love? The possibility of Liam's sacrifice raises a burning question. Could Steffy be so touched by his courage that she reconsiders her life with Finn? If Liam braves the torment of treatment solely to keep her safe, it might reignite the embers of their past romance, a bond forged through years of shared history and undeniable chemistry. Imagine Steffy at Liam's bedside, her eyes brimming with tears as she witnesses his pain, realizing the depth of his devotion. A stark contrast to the risks she faces due to Finn's conflicted loyalties. Could this be the moment Steffy chooses to walk away from her marriage, opting instead for a life with someone who places her safety and heart above all else? The notion of Steffy falling for Liam all over again isn't just a romantic twist, it's a seismic shift that would send shockwaves through the Forrester and Spencer families, redefining loyalties and sparking new conflicts. Her decision, should it come to pass, would pit safety against stability, love against duty, in a drama-laden crossroads. Next, we're delving into the tumultuous and divisive world of the bold and the beautiful, where the drama surrounding Luna Nozawa has taken a sharp, contentious turn. Once a character full of quirky energy and unpredictable charm, Luna has spiraled into a dark obsession that has fans buzzing with frustration and intrigue. Her relentless vendetta against Steffy Forrester, driven by a desperate longing for a family connection with her biological father, Finn, is pushing boundaries and testing viewer patience. Join us as we unpack the latest spoilers, introduce imaginative new elements, and explore the emotional undercurrents of this polarizing storyline that's sparking heated debates across social media. Luna's dramatic decline, from fun to fatal. Not long ago, Luna Nozawa was the life of the party on The Bold and the Beautiful, a whirlwind of spontaneity and youthful exuberance that kept viewers guessing. But in a startling transformation, her character has taken a nosedive into obsession and danger, leaving her former self a distant memory. In the most recent episodes, Luna has laid bare her ruthless intentions, fixating on eliminating Steffy Forrester from her life once and for all. Picture her pacing in a dimly lit room, her once bright eyes now clouded with determination as she mutters plans under her breath, convinced that Steffy is the sole barrier to the family she's always craved. This isn't just a fleeting grudge, it's a deep-seated yearning for connection with Finn, her biological father, a bond she believes Steffy maliciously obstructs. Luna's descent into this dark mindset has turned her from a fan favorite into a figure of controversy, with her actions teetering on the edge of irredeemable. A desperate quest for family and a deadly solution. Luna's fixation on building a family with Finn drives every calculated move she makes, casting a shadow over her once innocent persona. She sees Steffy not just as a rival, but as the thief of a life she was denied. A life where she could have shared quiet dinners with Finn, swapping stories of their pasts under a cozy evening glow. This unattainable dream fuels her rage, pushing her to extreme measures. If Luna hasn't already attempted to remove Steffy from the picture with lethal intent, rest assured, she's plotting her next move with chilling precision. Imagine her skulking in the shadows near the Forrester mansion, watching Steffy through a window with an unsettling focus, her mind racing with ways to erase this obstacle. For Luna, this isn't just about vengeance, it's about claiming what she believes is rightfully hers, a father's love, a sense of belonging, that Steffy's presence continuously denies her. This single-minded pursuit is turning her story into a tragic cautionary tale of longing gone awry. Fan frustration. A repetitive cycle of chaos. As Luna's storyline unfolds, a growing chorus of bold and beautiful fans are voicing their exasperation on social media, feeling trapped in a loop of repetitive drama. Many are tired of watching Luna tread the same destructive path, with her actions echoing past misdeeds without a hint of growth or redemption. Visualize fans scrolling through their feeds, typing out their grievances late at night, their comments reflecting a shared sentiment of fatigue with Luna's unchanging arc. One viewer passionately argued, "Why grant her a pardon only to repaint her as a killer? I'd much prefer a story of redemption if they plan to keep the actress around. This just feels pointless." Another fan expressed confusion over the narrative choices, lamenting, "I still don't get why they made her Finn's daughter just to drag us through endless flashbacks of her crimes for a decade." The repetition of Luna's villainy, without a fresh angle or deeper emotional exploration, is wearing thin, leading many to wonder if the writers have lost the plot on her character. Criticism of supporting characters and narrative choices. The backlash extends beyond Luna herself, with fans pointing fingers at the surrounding characters and the writer's decisions that seem to enable her downward spiral. Poppy Nozawa, Luna's mother and closest confidant, comes under fire for her apparent refusal to take accountability for her daughter's unraveling. A frustrated viewer remarked, "Poppy just acts like a total jerk now, shirking any responsibility as the one person who's been by Luna's side her whole life." Imagine Poppy at a tense family gathering, deflecting blame with a dismissive wave, leaving fans to question her role in Luna's turmoil. Additionally, Bill Spencer faces renewed scorn for his controversial decision to secure Luna's pardon, a move that now seems to have backfired spectacularly. One fan vented, "This just proves Luna hasn't learned a thing, she's still unhinged, and Bill's even more despised for letting her loose." The collective anger highlights a perceived lack of consequence in the storyline, amplifying dissatisfaction with how Luna's actions ripple through the canvas without meaningful resolution. Lost mystery and a call for depth. Perhaps the most poignant critique from fans centers on the complete erosion of Luna's mystique, a quality that once made her compelling even in her darker moments. Unlike Sheila Carter, whose vulnerability occasionally peeks through her villainous facade, Luna is seen as devoid of any softness or complexity, rendering her a one-note antagonist. A fan poignantly noted, "The writers overuse what should be subtle. Luna's mystery is gone, totally and utterly. We should at least sometimes wonder if she's being genuine, but there's nothing left to question. Sheila shows glimmers of heart, Luna has zero." Picture fans reminiscing about earlier episodes where Luna's unpredictability kept them guessing, contrasting it with her current portrayal as a relentless force of chaos. This loss of depth has stripped away layers that could have made her descent more tragic than tiresome, leaving many to crave a storyline that reintroduces nuance, perhaps a hidden pain or a fleeting moment of doubt, that could make Luna relatable again. What's next for Luna and the B&B universe? As The Bold and the Beautiful continues to chart Luna's contentious path, viewers are left pondering whether there's hope for a narrative shift that could salvage her character. Will the writers heed the fans' pleas for a redemption arc, unveiling a buried trauma or a tender connection that explains her obsession with Finn? Could a new character, perhaps a long-lost sibling or a mentor figure, step in to steer Luna away from her destructive impulses? And how will Steffy and Finn respond to the mounting threat, potentially forging an uneasy alliance to protect their family? The road ahead is fraught with uncertainty, but it's clear that Luna's story has sparked a firestorm of opinion that won't soon be extinguished.